Hey everybody, welcome to 2025. I am grateful and I thank God every day that I made it to the year 2025. Although 2024 had its challenges and there were some things that I had to overcome, but I thank God for the fact that I made it and I overcame. Now, when we look at 2025, we have to look at what are we going to do this year? Are we going to stick to the old? Or are we going to bring in the new? Are we going to do what God told us to do? Or are we going to be complacent? Are we going to hear what God says and not be doers? Or are we going to be doers of the word and follow his instructions? I choose the latter. I choose to be obedient and what he said. And that starts with purpose planning. You may look and say, what is purpose planning? That's a great question. Purpose planning is planning with purpose. It's asking God, asking the Holy Spirit, what does he want you to do for this year? We all have a plan and we all have a purpose. We all have something that God called us to do. It's up to you to choose whether you do it or you don't. But, like I said, I choose to do so. So, purpose planning. Purpose planning is looking at a few things that happened last year and figuring out what you learned and what you need to work on. It's almost kind of like a SWOT analysis, if you will, but just about yourself. So, this is based off Habakkuk 2:2. It says, write the vision and make it plain. So this is us writing the vision and making it plain. How can you ask God to help you do something or help you in some way if you don't have a vision? Without a vision, the people perish. So you need a vision so that you don't perish. You need a plan so that you don't fail. If not, you're going to end up doing the same thing that you did last year. And that's not good. So, back to purpose planning. Purpose planning consists of a few things. One, you're looking at your wins. What did you win? And it could be either however big this win is. One of my wins was I started a business. That's a win for me. Then you look at your losses. What did you lose? Or, better yet, lessons. Instead of looking at it as a loss, it will continue to be a loss if you didn't learn a lesson behind it. So, a lesson that I learned is you can't trust everybody. Even though God gives you something and tells you something, doesn't mean that you should tell everybody. Everybody doesn't mean you well. So, you take those two factors, your wins and your lessons, if you will, and you put them together. So from there, then, you're going to write down a few things that you believe that you want to achieve for the year 2025. That can be anything. That could be walking into your calling. That could be healing. That could be deliverance. That could be finally doing that business that God told you to do 5 years ago. That could be healing from the pain of a loss of a baby. Once you've gathered those things together, like I said, then you'll see God in prayer. You'll sit down, you'll pray and ask God, what does he want you to do this year? And you'll write it down. This may take a few days. Why? Because you're seeking the Holy Spirit on what you should be doing next. You don't want to go on a year blind because that's how you end up in a lot of pain and hurt. And in 2025, we are not doing that. So back to purpose planning. Once the Holy Spirit gives you the green light that those are the goals that he wants you to achieve for this year, then you're going to write them down. Now, if you have troubles with setting goals, that's completely different. And I can still help. Setting goals is fairly easy if they're realistic. Stay tuned for part 2.